Jason, thank you for taking time here just before Label Expo starts on the third day here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Jason, I have been prepped a little bit about, not so much about you, but about some of the strong things in your company. And everybody talk about values.
Sure.
Before we talk about Mark Andy as a company, can you tell us a little bit who are you as a person?
Sure. So I think all of us come from somewhere or have a family. I have a family also. I'm married and I have 3 kids. We live in St. Louis, Missouri, which is in the middle of the United States, basically in the heartland, as they like to say. And I think a lot of the values that I've learned growing up and doing business in the Midwest translate very well to Mark Andy as well. I think we like to think of ourselves as sort of a family kind of business. Even though we're quite large now, those sort of family values apply both to us as individuals and as a company. And so just like you would with your family, you make sure that you're responsible, you take care of your family members, you try to treat them the same way that you'd like to be treated. And I think that's how we approach things at Mark Andy as well.
I was just wondering because I mean, as you said, you have become a big company and a big player in the market. How difficult is it to maintain those core values in a company that grows and becomes global?
Right. I think it's just about finding the right people who buy into that value set. I think in our business especially, it seems like a very large industry, but at the end of the day, it's actually a relatively small industry. We're sort of a very small subset of the overall print space. And so I think if you can identify good people and they buy into sort of what your values are as a company, it's actually not all that challenging because ultimately you've got good people who are trying to take care of their customers and take care of the employees as well from a management perspective. I think things tend to dovetail and everyone then tries to work towards the same goal. So
another question around the same topic, because when we talk about strong values, and we will also talk about your company and equipment, but I just want to establish a little bit for the viewers to understand where we come from. I was also thinking that if you look, it's a 75 years history you have, right?
That's right, exactly, yeah. We've been celebrating our 75th anniversary, which is quite a milestone for us.
I was just thinking that in these 75 years, I mean, the industry has changed and grown. The technology has just been changing in so many directions in such a short time. And I'm not saying that values influences those decisions, but it does anyway. Because I mean, you here at Label Expo, for example, you show some of the newest and latest technology, both in toner and inkjet and hybrids. But you have a legacy of flexo machines that is bread and butter and important assets for your customers. I mean, these transformations that you have been part of, how do you handle these?
Yeah, I think to start with, when we, like you said, we had a very strong and dominant position in the flexo market for many years. We've got literally thousands of flexo machines across the world. I think the last time I checked, it was almost 8,000 machines.
Wow,
and
that's a lot,
that
right?
continues actually to grow every year. We still sell hundreds of flexo machines a year. But several years ago, we decided we were going to make that digital transformation, develop an in-house expertise for digital printing, and I think we've been successful at that over the last 7 years. But ultimately, I think as long as you keep your core focus on taking care of your customers and understanding what they want, that really helps drive technology decisions for us and really all the other decisions we make as a company. Because at the end of the day, it's not really about technology. It's about understanding what the customers are trying to accomplish and then figuring out the right tools to help them achieve that. Because at the end of the day, what we always say as a company is that if our customers are successful and if they take care of their customers, we will ultimately be successful as a company here at Mark Andy. That for us is the key, is helping our customers really meet their objectives.
So your role as CEO for Mark Andy, I hope that it's not only Excel sheets that you make your decisions on with what you just said.
You cannot do that. I mean, in this business, there is a ton of know-how in our industry. And often we are, even as the company that's making printing equipment or selling consumables and parts and supplies, we're amazed at the ways that our customers use our equipment. It is really incredible because they spend 24 hours a day running this equipment. And so we learn just as much from them as they do from us. And so you have to be able to not just look at spreadsheets, you have to be able to talk to customers, you have to understand, again, what it is that they're trying to achieve in terms of applications. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. You could not produce this kinds of equipment by just doing sort of a P&L analysis. That doesn't work.
You have to take some risks and also do something for fun sometimes, right?
You have to talk to the printers and see what they like and don't like and sort of, what their challenges are. You have to talk to the end users that actually make the finished products to see what they need and what their challenges are. You have to do all those things to really understand what kind of printing equipment, what kind of supplies customers need. And if you do that, I think ultimately you end up with good products and good customer relationships.
Fantastic. Jason, you said that, was it Missouri that you live in?
That's right, St. Louis, Missouri. That's where our company is headquartered.
Yeah. Has it always been in Missouri? Or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It started off in the Midwest in Missouri, and that's where we've maintained our headquarters. We are a global company. We have offices in Canada, in Toronto, in the UK, in Poland as well. So we really reach
You actually
all
have a quite
parts of the
big demo
world.
center in Poland, don't you?
We do. We spent a lot of money. We were fairly early on in recognizing that there was a lot of growth potential in Eastern Europe. Obviously, lots of our competition is based in sort of Central and Western Europe, but we recognized relatively early that it was really important for us to establish a sort of beachhead in Eastern Europe. And for us, again, it's all about the people. We went out and found a fantastic team who was born, raised, and is working now in Eastern Europe as well. And we're really proud of what we've been able to accomplish in Poland. We have by far the largest market share there, and it's continuing to grow. We're moving into the consumables and parts as well in that part of the world. So we're very excited about it.
Must be nice. I was just wondering, if we put COVID aside, in your position, do you travel a lot then?
Yeah, it's tricky, right? Because during COVID, trying to get in and out of the United States and Europe was quite a challenge. We have started traveling again, and of course, with the locations of our offices going back and forth to Europe, is something that a lot of us do. But at the end of the day, you've got to trust your people to run their offices and to run demo centers, like you were saying, because we cannot micromanage. You've got to have good people.
Yes, sure. I was just thinking that as the CEO of Mark Andy, I was just thinking that when it's a strong, value-driven company, can do the values of an American company applies to your European entity? I mean, I think they do, but I want your answer on it, right?
I think so. From the people that we have, they really have bought into this idea of treating our employees with respect, treating them like we would like to be treated, and doing the same thing with our customers then. And I think that's a universal message. That doesn't have to be an American message or a European message or an Asian, right? I think those are the kinds of values that, in a perfect world, I think all companies would operate that way. We certainly are always trying to better ourselves, but at the end of the day, I think if you take care of your customers and you take care of your people, good things tend to happen. And I think it doesn't matter whether you're an American or whether you're a European or you're from anywhere else in the world.
The reason I was asking was because, I don't know how it is on the manufacturing side, but we know from the customer side, like your converters and printers, that labor shortage is a immense problem, right? Yeah. And I was just thinking that sometimes, I heard yesterday, I can't remember who said that, but he said that we cannot get anybody young people to operate a printer. They don't want to do it. Right?
It is a challenge attracting new people into our industry. I would say it's one of the biggest challenge. It's not really a company-specific issue. It's really an industry issue.
Yeah. And actually several industries, right?
That's right. And I think what we need to do probably a better job of is getting to potential candidates when they're younger, getting into the colleges, even getting into the high schools and showing them. I know in America, at least, this is a big issue. Not everyone needs to go to college or wants to go to college. There are certain positions that you don't need college for. If you can become, work with an apprenticeship or things of that nature. I think as an industry, we need to do a better job targeting those people. We've been working with some universities here in America, putting presses on campuses to train younger people to learn how to be press operators, because even the most advanced digital press is not just a question of pushing buttons.
No. You have to understand also what the product does for the end customers. Otherwise, you cannot produce the right thing.
You have to understand the pre-press side of it. You have to understand what the application is, and that requires a lot of training, years of training to become a very good operator, even on a digital piece of equipment. And so I think we need to do more at those sort of high school and college age levels to really continue to bring younger people into our space.
We should do something to invite the industry to do something for being attractive for young people.
I think so, and we've talked to customers also about ways of potentially partnering with one another to put presses, whether it's at our locations or even at customer sites, that are just used for training purposes and attracting candidates and getting them into the industry. Those are some initiatives that we've been working on over the past year. With COVID, it's been a challenge, obviously.
Yeah.
But now that we're coming out of COVID, these are the kinds of things that we're trying to do, because it is definitely a challenge in our industry, is attracting people into our space. We've got, and not just operators, we have, Mark Andy is, at the end of the day, it's basically an engineering company.
Yeah.
I have dozens of engineers that work here at Mark Andy with me.
Even Greg, your marketing person is an engineer, right?
Even my business director, my marketing person, they're all engineers. And so we have to continue to attract young engineering talent as well. And I think a lot of these initiatives that we're trying to do is to try to get the word out that this label and packaging space is a very exciting space. I think it's an industry that a lot of people take for granted, because when you go into a store or you order something online, it shows up. You don't really think about who made that packaging, who made that labeling, but there is an incredible amount of science that goes into making it look so simple and to making it work really well.
And Jason, you smile when you talk about engineering and all the effort going into it. So I take that you appreciate the processes and the work, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you cannot be in this business and have the dozens of scientists that work for my company and not appreciate that, because it's every day it's a new challenge. Because again, like I said before, our goal is to make our customers successful. So literally every day of the year, we are getting feedback from customers, getting questions from them saying, how can I run this job better? How can I make this change and make the end product better? And so to do that and to be able to answer those kinds of questions and work with the customers, we've got to have good engineers, good scientists, whether they're material scientists, pre-press engineers.
Yeah, because I mean, there's many different areas of work in engineering with a machine like this.
Absolutely.
I want to change the subject a little bit. How does a day look for a CEO at Mark Andy?
Well, it's really, I would say, sort of like a juggler. I'm constantly juggling responsibilities. Obviously, the number one priority has always been taking care of our customers. But I would say sort of 1 and 1A is making sure that we're taking care of our employees.
Yeah.
And so that is a big part of the job as well. And so, I think at the end of the day, I have a very good team. What I like to say is our company is not going to be successful if we don't take care of our customers and if we don't take care of our employees. And I think we've built a really good team of people, many of whom are here at the show this week, making sure that this event...
See your demonstrators and your people.
It is amazing. They do a fantastic job. I cannot say enough about the team that we've got here. They're an incredible group of people.
And that comes back to, again, that what we spoke about in the beginning, the family values, the values of it, having this positive approach to your people that are working with makes Mark Andy a great company, right?
I think so. I think it helps differentiate us from some of the companies out there. We, at the end of the day, we like to think of ourselves as sort of an outsized performer in our industry. Yes, we're a good-sized company, but there are others in our industry who are bigger than us. But I think we sort of, what we would say in America is we sort of punch above our weight.
That's nice, right?
And I think regardless of whether you're in the substrate business or in the equipment business or the consumable business, you know who Mark Andy is. And I think that's all about the message and the values that our company and our people really carry into this industry.
With everything you said, I was just wondering, I'm curious about your outlook for the industry in that. Let's take the bold let's take the bold step. How does the industry look in 10 years time from now?
Yeah, I think one thing about our industry is that it's always been very resilient, and it's always showed a very nice growth trajectory. Population continues to increase. And I think most of us would say that the demand for labels and packaging is going to continue to increase. I do think the technology will continue to emerge. I don't even think digital is the end of the technology curve. There will be other technologies, and we're working on some of them now. I can't talk about them,
you're
but
releasing something that I can't know about.
exactly. Well, I think you've got to, if you're going to be around in 10 years or for another 75 years,
right?
you have to be constantly thinking about what is the next wave of technology that's going to come. And so we spend a fair amount of our resources thinking about the next wave of technology. And that's something that we take very seriously. We have engineers that are focused just on thinking about the next wave of products, the next generation of products that's coming.
As CEO, you go to that room from time to time, right?
Absolutely, you have to, because you have to help them set priorities. You have to understand what the needs are going to be for those kinds of groups, because it is doing that kind of R&D can be very expensive, and it does take a lot of resources. And so you have to really understand where the industry is going, where the customers are going also. I think almost everyone in our industry, the reason why people like this industry is that it's growing very fast. Unlike some other aspects of the print industry, our space here in labels and packaging has a very nice and consistent growth curve. It's been very resilient, even through COVID. Many of my customers were busier than they have ever been before. And so I think that's going to continue over the next decade.
Competition. You like it or you hate it?
I think, look, competition is sort of a fact of life in our space. And anytime you're in an attractive industry, you're always going to have a healthy number of competitors either entrenched or wanting to come in. I think we've done a very good job positioning ourselves and really modifying our company's outlook from just an equipment company, which is where we were probably 10, 15 years ago, to a company that provides all the other things you need to successfully produce labels and packaging.
Yeah, for example, you have, as part of your digital transformation, you have now started to do end-to-end solutions with consumables and all those things that can be ordered, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that Stu yesterday said that it was like 10,000 or more SKUs that you have, right?
Yeah. It's incredible. We have a 70,000 square foot warehouse in St. Louis. We have other distribution locations scattered across the US. We are starting that business as well in Europe now. We're already distributing consumables and parts.
Is that from Poland or?
We do both from Poland for the EU and into Manchester for the UK.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And soon we'll expand it into a global business as well. So part of our transformation over the last decade has been going from just an equipment company to a company that supplies parts. Service is very big for us. We have, I think, even if you ask my competitors, if they were being honest, I think that they would say we have the largest service infrastructure in the world, and that has really helped differentiate us as well. So we've really morphed from just an equipment company to a company that can provide everything that you need to produce labels and packaging.
Jason, it must be fantastic to be part of Mark-Andy.
It is quite a treat. I get a kick out of it every day. It's definitely challenging, but when I look around and see all these smiling faces ready to go at shows like this, it really is worth it, because I'm just really so proud of our team. They just really do such a great job.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate the time. Thanks very much.
Likewise.
Appreciate it.
Likewise.